Egypt and Qatar remove barriers, advance ceasefire and prepare aid for Gaza entry. Egypt's foreign minister reaffirmed support for Syria, Gaza recovery and Palestinian statehood in Paris. And the Prime Minister presents new social package details to President Sisi. You're watching the latest updates from Egypt on Qnews. Let's move on to the latest developments. An official Egyptian source has confirmed that Egypt and Qatar have successfully removed barriers to advancing the Gaza ceasefire agreement. This comes as both sides remain dedicated to ensuring the full implementation of the truce, reflecting a unified effort to stabilize the region and ease tensions. At the same time, Egyptian-Qatari aid, including mobile homes, debris removal equipment, and relief and humanitarian supplies, is being prepared in anticipation of its entry into the Gaza Strip. Dozens of trucks carrying mobile homes have lined up on the Egyptian side of the Rafah border crossing, preparing to enter Gaza. Alongside the trucks carrying mobile homes, several pieces of heavy equipment have been positioned on the Egyptian side of the Rafah crossing in preparation for entering the Gaza Strip. This comes as a total of 266 aid trucks, including 22 fuel trucks, have entered the Karam Abu Salim and Al Auja border crossings today, also in preparation for entry into the Gaza Strip. Egypt has condemned the car ramming incident in Munich, Germany today, which resulted in several injuries. In a statement issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Egypt expressed full solidarity with Germany and condemned all forms of violence, wishing a speedy recovery to those injured. Egyptian Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has reaffirmed Egypt's commitment to fully implementing the ceasefire agreement and alleviating the suffering of Gaza's residents by facilitating humanitarian aid in coordination with international partners. During weekly government meeting, Madbouli emphasized the Egyptian president's efforts to engage world leaders and international organizations in stabilizing the situation, ensuring reconstruction, and rejecting the forced displacement of Palestinians. Egypt also announced that it will host an urgent Arab summit on February 27th. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has stated that he is scheduled to travel to Ethiopia later this evening. The Prime Minister added that he will head the Egyptian delegation on behalf of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi to participate in the 38th ordinary session of the African Union Summit in Addis Ababa, scheduled for February 15th and 16th, with the participation of many African heads of state and government. Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdel Ati has emphasized the importance of preserving Syria's territorial integrity and sovereignty and ensuring its role as a stabilizing force in the region. During a lunch gathering on the sidelines of the ministerial meeting on Syria in Paris, Abdel Ati called for launching an inclusive political process led by Syria and involving all segments of Syrian society in accordance with UN Security Council Resolution 2254. He also reiterated Egypt's support for the Syrian people's legitimate aspirations and highlighted Egypt's efforts towards Gaza's recovery, as well as the importance of establishing an independent Palestinian state for regional stability. Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati has emphasized Egypt's unwavering support for Syria, highlighting the importance of preserving its territorial integrity and stating an inclusive political process. This came during his meeting with his French counterpart Jean-Noël Barrot in Paris, where he also underscored efforts to ensure security and stability in the Sahel region, support counter-terrorism initiatives, and respect Somalia's sovereignty. Additionally, Abdelati emphasized the need for early recovery efforts in Gaza and the establishment of a Palestinian state for lasting peace. The foreign minister has also discussed with his Ukrainian counterpart, Andy Sibia, the importance of advancing early recovery and reconstruction projects in Gaza without displacing Palestinians from the region. On the sidelines of the ministerial meeting on Syria, the Egyptian foreign minister expressed hopes for an increase in Ukrainian agricultural imports to Egypt and the launch of trilateral cooperation between Egypt, Ukraine, and Africa. The foreign ministers of Egypt and Bahrain have emphasized the need for a just and lasting political solution to the Palestinian cause through a two-state solution. The two counterparts also discussed the establishment of an independent Palestinian state along the June 4, 1967 borders, with East Jerusalem as its capital. During their meeting in Paris, the ministers praised Egypt-Bahrain ties, addressed regional developments, and stressed the importance of Gaza's reconstruction while rejecting the displacement of Palestinians. Egyptian Foreign Minister has affirmed Egypt's readiness to support Lebanon in safeguarding its sovereignty, unity, and stability while advancing its national priorities. Meeting his Lebanese counterpart Youssef Raji in Paris during a ministerial conference on Syria, Abdelati praised Lebanon's new government as a key step towards stability. He emphasized Egypt's commitment to strengthening bilateral ties and called for the full implementation of UN Resolution 1701 and Israel's withdrawal from southern Lebanon. Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati has participated in a ceremony marking the restoration of some smuggled Egyptian artifacts in Paris. Abdelati lauded the efforts exerted by the French authorities in restoring the smuggled Egyptian antiquities and asserted the importance of intensifying efforts to hunt smugglers of Egyptian artifacts. Egypt's ambassador to Tirana, Hassan Shukri, has met with Albanian Defense Minister Pero Vingu to discuss strengthening defense and military cooperation between the two countries. They focus on expanding collaboration in international and regional forums, considering the mutual support in various organizations. Ambassador Shukri emphasized the importance of intensifying military and defense ties, particularly given the security challenges in the Middle East and the Western Balkans. Minister Vingu praised Egypt's training programs and expressed interest in involving Albanian military personnel in future courses. Egypt's ambassador in Ramallah, Ihab Suleiman, emphasized Egypt's ongoing efforts to assist the Palestinian people in Gaza by facilitating aid delivery and providing medical treatment for the wounded. This came as Suleiman met with the head of the Palestinian National Council, Rawhi Fatouh, where he reiterated Egypt's unwavering stance in supporting the establishment of an independent Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital, in accordance with international legitimacy and rejecting any attempts to forcibly displace Palestinians from their land. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has stated that officials from INI predicted new discoveries in Egypt over the next 2 years. During his weekly press conference, the Prime Minister added that there are 180 companies in Egypt working in the outsourcing and information technology sectors, which are considered the industries of the future. Minister of Agriculture Ala Farouk has discussed with delegation from Kraft Heinz ways to enhance the company's investments in Egypt. The Egyptian cabinet reported that the company invested $50 million over the past 2 years to expand its factory in the 6th of October industrial zone, doubling production capacity and increasing exports by 60%. The expanded facility was inaugurated in September 2024. Minister of Tourism and Antiquities Sherif Fathi has discussed with his Jordanian counterpart Lina Annab ways to boost joint cooperation between the two countries in the field of tourism. Fathi invited Annab and her accompanying delegation to visit Egypt as soon as possible to participate in a road show in cooperation with representatives of the private sector in Egypt and Jordan and a number of trip organizers from both sides. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has stated that the government is finalizing the details of the new social package in preparation to present it to President Abdel Fattah Sisi in the coming days. In his weekly press conference, the Prime Minister explained that the social package consists of 2 parts. The first will be implemented over the next 3 months, while the second will involve increasing wages and pensions starting in July. Minister of Planning Rania Al-Mashot has projected that Egypt's economy will grow by 4% during the fiscal year 2024-2025. Speaking at the World Government Summit 2025 in Dubai, Al-Mashot highlighted that over the past months, the government has implemented financial and monetary policy measures alongside structural reforms that have enhanced the resilience of the Egyptian economy and its ability to withstand future shocks. Housing Minister Sharif Al-Shirbini met with officials from City Edge Real Estate Development Company to discuss the marketing status of several projects. The Housing Minister reviewed the company's progress in marketing sub-projects of the new urban communities authorities in New Alamein City and the new administrative capital, including both residential and commercial units, in addition to discussing the marketing plans developed by the company. Minister of Electricity and Renewable Energy Mahmoud Asmat visited the Komombo Solar Thermal Power Plant with a capacity of 140 megawatts, which is owned by the Upper Egypt Electricity Production Company. The minister emphasized the importance of operating the Komombo Solar Thermal Plant, as it has been a pioneering experimental project for nearly 20 years. He highlighted the effective management and utilization of owned assets to maximize returns, affirming that the electricity sector has been a leader in renewable energy. Zamalek club officials have finalized an agreement with Portuguese coach José Peseiro to take over the management of the team, succeeding Swiss coach Christian Gross. Peseiro is scheduled to arrive in Cairo at 8 p.m. today, where he will sign the contracts upon his arrival and hold a meeting with Zamalek officials. The first team of Al Ahly will resume training tomorrow in preparation for their match against Ismaili, scheduled for 7 p.m. next Sunday at Burj Al Arab Stadium in the 14th round of the Egyptian Premier League. Al Ahly versus Ismaili match will take place at 7 p.m. next Sunday at Burj Al Arab Stadium in Alexandria as part of the 14th round of the Egyptian Premier League. And that brings us to the end of our news bulletin. Here's what we have been covering. Egypt and Qatar remove barriers, advance ceasefire and prepare aid for Gaza entry. Egypt's foreign minister reaffirms support for Syria, Gaza recovery and Palestinian statehood in Paris. And the Prime Minister presents new social package details to President Sisi. And that's all for now. Remember to stay updated by following Qnews for the latest developments.